I was brought up to believe that Valentine's Day is something of a capitalist plot because I had very left-wing parents. I don't think that's entirely true, but I do think it's worthwhile celebrating loving one day a year. And so that's what this is, but a celebration of love in more of its entirety than pink fluff and glitter. So here is 3 possibilities. There are 3 mixes, the links for which are below this post, and they're for 3 very different scenarios. So the first is the kind of obvious one. If you're actually lucky enough to be in a really good space with your partner, or in a really good space for yourself, if you want to celebrate your love that you feel within and even for yourself, then there's a mix for more kind of classic loving, as in joyful loving. Put it on, have a great time with yourself or your partner or a good friend and celebrate loving. It may be that actually you're really pissed off. So for this, I would suggest you whack it on, turn the volume up high, and if you possibly can, have a really good time being really pissed off. Make some ground rules first. Probably agreeing not to hit each other is a good one. Just have a damn good dance. Let it out. Let that rage and fury and even the blame, let it out. You know, just have fun with the blame. Like ham it up and point at each other and say it's your fault as fully as you can. Like go for it and see it for what it is by letting it completely out. And if you do this, I would strongly recommend that you build in some time after the music has stopped to vulnerably and honestly do your best to speak the truth to each other using the basic tools of nonviolent communication, of speaking really about yourself. You know, I feel angry. I am hurt. When you do this, then when you did that, this and the other, I felt da-da-da. Stuff like that. If you're not familiar with nonviolent communication, you might want to look it up. And let's be realistic. Often I'll devote a whole weekend workshop to this subject of how to embody and express anger and communicate it with partners. It's a big subject. This is a little drop in the ocean. And if you don't feel like you have the resources or the maturity within yourself or with your partner to handle sort of opening the bottle without anyone else there to help you, then maybe it's best you wait and get some support. And I'm available for that. If you want to book one-to-one coaching with me, or rather 2-to-1 coaching with me, you can work by yourself on your issues with your partner, or you can both book me for a joint session, or of course go and find a good therapist or someone else you can work with, or when we're allowed to again, come and do a weekend workshop with me on this subject of what I call fierce loving, which is really the true nature of anger. It's just a kind of loving that gets very hot and fierce and deep red. So more on that in other videos or in person, but if you feel like you're up for it and you want a real good shout and a stamp and let some of your locked up frustration out, not so much on each other as with each other, and then there's a mix that I hope will help you to go through it in a good way. Lastly, there's the mix for grief. Now, this is the thing about, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day in 2021, when the whole world, not everybody in it, but like us as a collective, are on the edge of, if not deep in, a massive tsunami of grief. We're in the 6th extinction. There's got to be a part of us humans that is in grief about that, and a part of the whole natural world that's grieving the loss of all these species and habitats. And now our human way of life too is falling to pieces. So grief whether you're with a partner, whether you're on your own and you're grieving the lack of a partner to love. Trust your body to handle your feelings. Let sadness move you. Let it cut into you and hurt. Surrender to it and let it change you. And let it take you all the way through to the sweetness that sadness and grief actually has inside it. It's a kind of loving and praise. It's a praise for what we love. So go all the way through it until you find the sweetness and the gratitude and the praise. And so we go on together. I hope one or all of these mixes in some way can serve you, and I really wish you a good Valentine's Day if you're watching this on the 14th, or if you're watching it another time, I really wish you well deep in your heart. You can find information about how to work with me individually or as a couple on the coaching page of the 01 website, or you can show up at one of the many events that are there with a rolling program of online events and hopefully some in-person stuff coming up too. Go well.